All right, so now we've got the feet moving pretty well. I want to go in now and start working on the hip rotations. So to do that, I'm going to go back to frame 1 and I want to rotate these hips. If I have a look from the top so we can see which way we're going. Okay, so I want to rotate the hips this way, so because this foot's coming forward, the hips need to turn towards where the foot is. So if I just try 6, you can guess I've actually tried this before I start recording, so I know that 6 looks pretty good. So I'm going to save the key on the Y rotation, and then I'm going to middle, and then I'm going to go to frame 12, and then no surprise that's going to be -6, and then save a key, and then I'm going to go back to frame 1, middle mouse drag to frame 24 and save a key there. And if we have a look at the graph editor for that, you can see we've already got keys because we were using the S key for the up and down translation. So I'm going to get rid of those keys because they're going to put a funny little wobble in the rotation. So I've just got rid of the keys at frame 6 and frame 18. So I've got keys at 1, 12 and 24 there. And because we're in a loop, so let's have a look at what that looks like in our main scene. Okay, that's pretty good. So now I want to work on the rotation in the hip of the hips in Z, because when you walk, remember in the forces lecture, center of gravity, actually, or the posing lecture might have been, we need to move the hips in terms of rotation and translation so that the center of gravity is the weights over the foot that's on the floor. So let's have a look at the first frame. So the first one, we've got contact position. We're going to keep the hips level. So then at frame 6, you can see this foot is lifted, so we need to rotate the hips in Z. So I'm just going to actually just click on that so that I'm only rotating in Z so that I don't get any weird extra stuff. So let's have a look. So what have we got there? 3. We'll go for 3. All right, so I'm saving a key for 3, and I want, and I'm going to go the opposite of frame 18. So I want -3. Frame 18. Okay. Key selected. Okay. So now we've got rotation in Y and rotation in Z. So it looks a bit like it's quite stiff from the bottom, from the top half, but the bottom is actually we're starting to get somewhere. Okay. So again, let's have a look at the graph editor for that, and you can see again we've got some funnies that have turned up. So I want to, in this case, I want to get rid of that key because it goes with this key here. So I just want to smooth this out. That's getting better. I'll smooth out that one. So now we've got a nice smooth rotation. Okay. So now I want to play a bit more with the translation of the hips. So let's just grab them and get my graph editor so I can see what's going on in the translation in Y. So you can see, I'll just make this a bit smaller. Okay. So do you remember our image where we want the walk to be quite high at the passing position, but we want it to go a little bit higher before it comes back down to the contact position, and we want the hips to be a little bit lower when he finishes the contact position to go up to the first passing position. So we're going to put that in now. Okay. So I'm going to hit the W key so that I'm, just make sure I'm back in Maya. There we go. Make sure I've got the right bit. Okay. So let's have a look at the translation in Y. Okay. So let's get to the contact. And we want to be slightly down here. So what I might do here is just add a key. I'm going to right click, insert a key. There we go. I'm just going to use that just to pull down this, and I've got here, I'm just going to smooth it out a little bit. There we go. So there we've got the down, and we need another one here. Again, so again I'm going to insert a key. Not being quite as scientific now. I'm going to get a little bit of randomness in there, which is not so any bad thing because it's not going to affect the loop. Okay, and then here again I'm just going to add, I might add this key one frame later and just give it a push so that we're going up. Okay. Again, just curve it up. So now we've got a little down and we've got an up. Let's see what that looks like. It's okay. We might come back to that later. But we're going in the right direction. Maybe push it a little bit further. What we don't want to do is to affect, there we go. Let's see what that looks like, because we're working on tiny increments here. Okay. So look at that from the side so we can see where the height goes. Okay, that'll do for now. All right. Let's have another look at the lower body. So the other thing I want to do is just put a little bit of a translation. So whenever the weight is on the front, on a foot, the weight of the character needs to be a bit more over. I'll just use the front window here. Let's give him his colours. Okay. Looks like he's wearing glasses there. All right, so what I'm going to do is just do a little translation in X of the hips, just so that his hips come a little bit over the foot that's on the floor. Can you see it? So I'm just going to do just a little bit of that. Okay, so that foot's already down. Okay, it's contact. So it's on when we're in the actual passing position. So we're going to be around frame 6. So I'm just going to move that this way. Let's have a look where we're going. Minus. Doesn't want to be too bad because I do want it to look like a sailor. But just probably about to there. What's that? Minus 352. Go with that. Okay, we'll go minus 4. Okay, we can always tweak it back. Save a key. And then go to frame 18. So that means we're going to be 0.4 this time. And we'll see whether that's too much or whether it's okay. All right, let's see if we'll just maybe tail that back a little bit. Okay. Let's have a look what it looks like in the graph editor. So you can see we've got a bit of funny wobble anyway, because again, we've got keys that we didn't necessarily need for left over from before. Okay. Okay, so that was the -4. Let's make that -3.5 like it was going to be in the beginning. And then we'll make that 3.5. The way animating like this works is that you do some of it actually in the scene, but a lot of it happens in the graph editor. And hopefully by now you're starting to be able to read what these curves do. I can remember I listened to a talk the other day where he said, I can read I think it was Blue Zoo talk, where the animator said, I can read the graph editor like the Matrix now. So that's what you need to be able to do, those of you who've seen the Matrix. Okay. All right, well, we'll keep that like that for a while. We may tone it down further, but we'll see how we go. All right, so we're getting there now with the lower body. Last thing I want to do with the lower body for now, I think, is just want to turn his feet out a little bit, because at the moment they're very straightforward. So I just want to put a little bit of a rotation on his feet. Now I can do that in different ways. I can use the heel pivot, or I can actually rotate the bottom place. I might use the heel pivot. So and this is going to be a rotation that I keep all the way through, I think. So let's go heel pivot frame 1. See if that's, I'm just going to check that's not doing anything weird anywhere else. No, that's just a pretty nice rotation. So I'm just going to zero it out again because I was messing with it. Okay. So if I put that to 5 and then key that. Now you can see I've got lots of other keys on here, so I'm just going to go in and see I'm in the heel pivot in the graph editor. So I'm going to get rid of all those other keys. Whoops. Where is it? Slightly run away with me there. Let's grab the foot base. Heel pivot. Find the heel pivot here. Can you see these are the extra keys that I don't want? So if I just don't want these other keys. Oops. Okay. Okay, so there's a key there, and I'm going to put another key at frame 24. And again, I'm just going to key select it so I don't put keys on all the others. So there, we've just got the same key all the way through. And again, I may choose to tweak that. Let's have a look what that looks like. That's okay. And then if I go on this foot, and again we go to heel pivot, and have a look at the heel pivot. I may just get rid of all these to start with this time. So frame, oh, we're working on frame 1. Okay. Heel pivot, and we'll go to 5. So it matches. Key selected. Okay. Let's have a look at that. We probably shouldn't need any more than one key. Great. Might be a little bit too much like a sailor, but we can come back and hone it down. We'll do the rest of the body because we're not sure whether this is going to, because it's affecting the top of it swinging, so it may affect it more, or it'll be fine. But we'll come back and start the upper body next.